Hi, I'm Hunter Baroni, and this is what I learned about our project. To start, when I first reviewed our semester-long family project, I was a little skeptical about what I was going to learn. Um, just kind of by reviewing the relationships with my immediate family who I was already close with, I kind of didn't feel as if I would learn too much about those relationships. But per usual, I was very wrong. After finally completing the project, I can confidently say that I've learned a lot about how I communicate with my family members, but also about how I can continue to improve those relationships in the future. My whole family is so close, and that we all know that no matter what, we're going to remain close to the day that we die. But this takes away from us working to maintain our relationships because we know that no matter what happens, no matter what we do with each other, we would never leave each other behind. So I wanted to start off by talking about the ways I learned through doing this project on how I can help maintain each of these relationships, which I believe was also truly a main focus of this project. So starting with my brother Mark, some ways I've learned that I can continue to maintain this relationship as we get older is just trying to include him in more things. Um, Rather than making it feel like he's the one with the $2, so try not to make him feel like we only want to see his $2 and not him. Mark's one of my best friends, and I wouldn't ever want to make him feel unwanted in a sense. So I think I could do a better job of making sure that he knows that we want to see him just as well as his daughters. Uh, I mean, it gets even as bad as like he'll walk through the front door, and instantly anyone that's closest to the door will be like, "Oh, where's Melania? Where's Alessia?" Like, nobody will say, "Hey, Mark, how are you doing? Thanks for coming over." Nothing. So this project really had me thinking about kind of how messed up this is, even though we don't mean bad by it. But before this assignment, I wouldn't have never even thought about how this could make him feel. And although he probably doesn't care too much, his balance of affection could be off without really anybody even realizing, maybe even himself not realizing it. Another area I would like to work on is by making Mark feel more included. Um, Ever since his first daughter was born 3 years ago, Mark has been a busy family man. The babies haven't been very easy on them. They haven't been getting much sleep and stuff. So in result, to him being busy, um, we assume that a lot of the things that we do as brothers or with kind of close friends, we kind of assume that usually they're at nighttime, so we assume he just all of us like he just can't do it because he's got to put the kids to sleep. Um, so a couple of times he's gotten a little salty, saying things like, good invite last night, or yeah, I don't like doing fun things. Thanks for asking me to go. And I always feel super bad after, but I try and explain to him that we just assume that he can't go. So to help maintain the relationship, I think that moving forward we could all do a better job of just inviting him and just taking the chance on whether or not maybe that day he can hang out, and maybe that'll make him feel more involved. Next, I wanted to talk about ways I can maintain my relationship with my brother Dominic. We are both very close, but I've always had some tension in our relationship growing up, like I talked about in my project. So the older I get, I want to completely just kind of cut any tension or arguing between us because we've done way too much of that in the past. Usually the tension comes from me borrowing like his clothes or me wearing one of his hats and just kind of forgetting to put things back, which if it's not there at his disposal at the moment, like he just kind of spazzes out, which is obviously is on me, but I want to continue to work on just kind of staying away from borrowing his stuff because it just causes too much tension in a relationship. Although sometimes I just can't help myself but wear his things. We are both adults, though. I feel like sometimes I act childish when it comes to relationships. So I feel like when it comes to me and Dominic's relationship, I just need to take control and the little things that I can do to decrease any of the tension, that we still might have from our relationship in the past. Thinking about my relationship with my mom during this project really got me kind of emotional. I've truly been blessed with the best mom. So kind of this going through these steps in this project kind of made me realize this. Growing up, my mom was honestly gave me the best life a kid could ever ask for, which brings me to my biggest fear in life, which is letting her down and not paying her back in some way. So in the short term, I can continue to maintain this relationship by taking some housework off her hands, doing the little things like doing the dishes while she's at work or wiping on the counter, just so she doesn't have to come home to a dirty house. I know that these little things will go a long way for her, and I want her to know that I'm very appreciative of what she's done for me growing up now, and I want to take the load off her around the house. Although in this situation, I know that this relationship maintenance won't change really how much my mom loves or cares about me, but I think I still owe that to her to repay it back to her. Lastly, I'm thinking about ways to maintain my relationship with my dad. I was going to talk about this, but I'm kind of running out of time here. I want to keep it less than 5 minutes. So basically, yeah, this project really helped me realize kind of how selfish I am in some ways in my relationships with my close family. It really got me thinking about these relationships and ways that I can maintain them, more importantly, which is very important to me. A family is the most important thing to me. So, yeah, I enjoyed this project and enjoyed, kind of all the different like thoughts that kind of spire out of this project, into my mind of how to maintain these relationships and stuff. Thanks.